to another episode of the Soup Bowl, where things get messy when we are leading our own lives, right? Thank you so much for tuning in on today. I thank you for subscribing. I thank you for liking. I thank you for sharing. And most importantly, I thank you for doing life with me. And I'm so happy to be doing life with you as well. Hey, we just out here in these streets trying to live our best lives, right? Trying to live our best lives and do what's best for ourselves, for our families, for our teams, for our organizations, for our community, right? Because we was never meant to do life alone. So just thinking about that. All right, so we have our little buddy here, Muscle. He wants some rubs, so I'm gonna give, as you can tell, I'm giving him a couple of rubs. Okay, Muscle, that's enough, right? Okay, all right, so what are we gonna get into today? Well, I went on a trip. Whoop, whoop. Well, I've been going on a lot of trips, but this particular trip was intentional, it was purposeful, and it was not about work. It was not one of those trips. And it was, hey, let's go to the mountains. It was one of those trips. I love to go to the mountains. And this particular one, I went to Canada. And let me tell you that I was a little bit kind of like, it's September. It's going to be cold. And I'm not just about that life anymore. I'm not really about being cold and like going on a hike. I'm just not about that life. But so I was a little like, yeah, but Renee, go. You have not been to Canada before. It's right here. Go for it, right? Okay, Muscle, that's enough, bud. That's enough, buddy. Okay, go lay down. Go lay down. Stop licking. Stop, go lay down. Go. Okay, we'll lay down right there. All right, so anywho, I was, normally I go and I asked Murdoch to go with me, and he was just like, yeah, he wasn't feeling it right. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna go without you. I'm going to go without you. And so, as wisdom told me, that was not a good idea for me to go alone on a hiking trip. Not saying that you cannot go on some type of vacation or whatnot by yourself. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is when you're going hiking, it's probably not a good idea that you go alone. So what did I want to do? I wanted to invite a couple of friends to go with me, those individuals that, I know that I was going to have a good time with. But not only that they were always like, hey, where are you at? When I'm posting pictures or whatever. And so I was like, I'm going to give them this opportunity to come along with me and to share in this. But at the same time, you didn't have to, right? You didn't have to go on the hike, but you just come along on the trip and share in some of the other activities of relaxation, right? So it's so interesting because I am a planner, and normally when I do this type of trip, I do not plan. I don't plan. It's things that I started a couple of years ago to save myself, and because it's supposed to be a time of relaxation. And so I wanted to be intentional about that every time I take this type of trip. However, my good friends, kept asking questions and blase. And I was like, you all are trying to make me plan. I'm really not trying to plan. I'm not trying to plan this. I just want to go and see where the day takes us, right? The only thing I'm planning is hiking. That's it. That's all I want to do. Here's the area where we will be at. That's all I wanted to do. I got peer pressured into planning, right? So I literally had to say, we're going to do this on this day, and we're going to do this on this day, whatever. I'm not trying to do colors. It wasn't that type of trip. It just wasn't, right? So that lets me know a lot of things, that we have difficulties in just going places and just allowing the day to take us. Even people that don't plan, because the people that I went with aren't. I'm not saying that they don't plan, but it's not like one of their specialties. Like, oh, we gotta have plan, right? So that just lets me know that we kind of have some hardship there. So it's not just a person that plans that has a difficulty time of taking a trip and not planning, right? Just going on a trip, where you're staying at, if you're driving, if you're flying, right? And if it's no particular event that you're going to, you're just going. Yes, that's kind of hard. That's kind of difficult. So, what does that say about us that we really don't know how to relax as Americans? I think so. We don't really know how to vacation because we go on vacation and then we come back and we need to go on another vacation. So we really didn't vacation, right? Vacation is stepping away, right? Getting away from the norms of our day, of the hectic, schedule that we have, the emails, the phone calls, the meetings, I don't know, just getting away from our days, right? The soccer practices and band and games and all. We're just stepping away from these things to go and just relax. Just go relax. We don't have to wake up at a certain time. We don't have to eat at a certain time. We just need to be mindful of when things open and close, pretty much. It's pretty hard for us to do. It's pretty hard for us to do. Not saying that don't go do activities, but you're not scheduling them, right? It's not scheduling them. But anyway, to that end, that is one of the reasons why I try to be intentional about when I plan this particular trip, and the plan of the trip is where I'm going to go hike. So I realize I'm not the type of hiker that, I'm set out to go and climb the highest mountain and the most sought out or the most difficult. I'm not that type of hiker. I'm the type of hiker that I love to go, if I can camp right within the National State Park, I would do it and just go throughout all the trails that's there. And just kind of really take in the creation of life and the nature and just how the world has just been created and then evolved over time, so to speak, and just allow it to speak to me because I believe everything speaks. And so I'm just wanting nature to speak to me. I'm wanting those moments of aha. I didn't know, I didn't realize but anyway, so I'm just putting that out there. So I just really look for those type of things to get some type of revelation or insight. And so I feel like going to the mountain gets me there. And so I'm not looking for the most difficult path, so to speak, to challenge me in some type of way. I think the challenge for me is getting away and then also not planning. That is a challenge for me. It really is. It really is. No, for real, it really is. So I keep saying that because it really is. But anywho, my hair is caught in my shirt. Okay, but just being there and just seeing nature take its course, and it had been raining a lot, so there were certain paths that we were not able to go on, and so I was like, oh man, like, why is it closed off? Why is it that we can't take this particular path? Why is it that we can't go there, right? And so, of course, they're saying, hey, the park rangers have been out there. It's not safe for you to go. And so we're saying it's closed off. What does that say? It's just like, we're going through life and we want to go a particular way. And as we begin to go that way, we might see a sign that says, stop, do not proceed, danger, don't go any further. And we still continue to try to go that way. There's warnings there, right? By the way people have treated us or what they have said, and we still try to dig into that particular path. This is what we do. This is what we do. And so when you get on and you still could try to continue on this path, and although you've been warned numerous of times to not take that path, and you continue on this path, anything that happens or comes at you is self-inflicted. It's not the people's fault. It's actually yours. It's actually our fault because we were warned. We were warned numerous of times. It's that saying, if I mess it up, because I don't be really good with saying, I don't know why, but I just don't. But so the saying is, believe what people show you. Believe what people tell you. Believe them. Believe them when they show you, right? Before they even tell you. Because we can say things all day long, but our actions will say something else, right? So believe it. So if someone is treating me a certain way, then that really means, right, in a certain way, when I use that terminology, a certain way. Oh, it's my, I was trying to figure out what this was, and it's my, my hair jewelry. Okay, but anyway, so the way people the way people treat individuals in a negative way, but then in the same breath, they're saying, hey, I'm here for you. I love you. I'm your friend. A, B, C, D, E. But then they discount you. They push you aside. They don't have time for you. They don't answer your phone calls. They belittle you in front of people, or they pretend as though they don't know you in front of people, or they only contact you when the people that they really want to be with are not there, or they will continue to cheat on you, right? They will continue to accuse you when you've done nothing. So, but in the same breath, in the same instance, they're telling you that they love you. They're telling you that they care about you. They're telling you that, they're here for you. But you're never present. So in those instances, right, that really that individual is saying, yeah, no, I really don't love you. I'm really not here for you. I'm really not your friend. I really don't want to be around you, because their actions are speaking. Their actions are speaking. So those are the warnings, right? Those type of things are the warnings of, hey, you probably don't want to go down this path. You probably want to stop engaging in this, right? So when people end up in abusive relationships, or an abuse, I mean physical, right, mental, sexual, whatever, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, right, there are these warnings, right? These warnings that happen before you actually get in, like you're in the thick of things, right? I don't know how I ended up here. Well, because you weren't paying attention. Or it's because, oh, they really didn't mean that. They really didn't mean to do that. They really didn't mean to say that. They really, you're making up all these excuses for this individual, when plainly they're just telling you They're not there. And so there is the path of don't go this way. It's washed out. It's not good for you. It's not safe for you. So why are you still trying to go this path? Why are you still trying to go this path? Right? So even in that, right, I had to get the map. I had to get the map to make sure that I do not find myself on this path just in case I couldn't read the sign, right? Because it was French. Everything was in French. There was some English too. But I had to make sure, right, that I was going to be on the right path and not get off, right, the wrong path, right? And so, of course, going a particular direction, because I was trying to figure out, catch this, you got to catch, okay, anyway. But I was trying to figure out how to do a loop. I was trying to figure out like how to make this big loop, because that's normally what I like to do. I don't like to go to a point and come back the same way that I went. I just don't like to do that. I feel like I should be able to start in one direction and do a complete loop around to get me back to, I don't know, another different point that ends, right? So I'm not just doing like this 360 because like the way the paths are. Or some national parks, all the paths might start at the visitor center or whatever. I don't know, but it just depends what national park it is. Again, forgive me. Y'all know I have sinuses, so I'm always like, rubbing and sniffing my nose. So yeah, ain't nothing going on. We're not doing nothing right here. No lines, no nothing. So anyway, I wasn't able to do that this time. I wasn't able to do that because again, the paths were washed out. And so I could not do a loop. I could not start at one point and end at another point. I had to come back. And so I'm still kind of processing that, like, I had to come back. And the funny thing is that when I was going on one particular trail and when I got to a certain point, I was like, I think I could have went this way. Now, it doesn't look like it's the path or could have been the path because, it was just so much going on. I was like, am I on the right path? I don't know. Because I don't see any arrows. I don't see any markings. I don't see, and on some of these paths, they just weren't marked good. And so I was just really wondering because it was like this straight, like it was steep and like you're just going around. It was just literally like this. It was literally like this the whole time. My hips, yes, can speak to it because it was literally like this the whole time. And the only time you really got any relief was when you like made it to the lookout point. But it was literally like this the whole time. That's my back of my hand. It was just literally like this. So, anywho, let's do that. So when I'm going up, right, I'm looking like, man, should I go this way? Because even these paths, like they're just muddy, right? This particular one was just really muddy. And I was just like, oh man, I'm trying to, step around and, make sure that I'm not, getting super muddy. That brings me to another point. I'm a clean hiker, right? I'm a clean hiker. I don't just be around in my hiking boots, just kicking dirt, you know what I'm saying? And no, I'm not. But anyway, just trying to get less muddy as possible, right? So as I'm trying to navigate, let me step around this way. And also I was thinking about with my friend, right? Because I was leading the way. And so I was trying to be mindful of that as well and begin to speak like, hey, step here, don't step here, watch that, hey, we gotta, hold my arm. So, whatever. So I was doing all of that as we're going up, right, the mountain. So when we came back down, this same area where I was like, oh yeah, we probably should take this particular path instead of this path because this path seems like it goes and it goes around, right? And it's just, it's like kind of like going in a half moon, right? When I can just go straight down. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with this. I really think that this was the path, and maybe everybody's just decided to go this way because of the rain. So I proceed to go down this particular way. And I made it right down this particular way that I decided to make, that at the end of it, it was not the path. So, but I did. And I ended up right back on the path. So I'm thinking I'm taking a better route. I'm thinking that I'm taking a shortcut, and I end back on the path that I was trying to avoid. Not only that, but my knee was not happy with me because it actually was steeper. And then I had to like go down this really big rock or whatever. And so it was not pleased with me at all. It wasn't pleased with me. It did not like me. To the point when I had to, I had to put CBD oil on this knee, my left knee, when I got back. That's how happy it was not of me, of this, making this particular choice. Renee, what did you learn out of that? What did you learn? I'm glad you asked me. I'm glad you asked me. Well, in life, we try to take shortcuts. We want to get there the quickest. We want to get there the fastest. We want to get there in the shortest, path. We don't want to go through anything. We want to go through life, a situation without being hurt, without being damaged. We try to avoid things, but ultimately, we want to get there quicker. We want to know the shortcuts. We want people to put us on. We want people to hook us up, right? That's what we want out of life. And then sometimes that's just not what we need to be doing. We don't need to be doing that, because guess what? You're going to end right back on the destined path that you're supposed to be on to get to where you need to go. So as much as I was trying to make a shortcut, I ended right back on the path that I was supposed to be on. And in my own wisdom, that I actually caused injury to myself. And so don't we do that? Don't we do that? Don't we cause injury to ourselves unnecessarily because we're using our own wisdom? We're in our own strength. We think that we're just so smart, right? We got it all together. We know what to do. We want someone to, and in that, I had my friend following me. People, that's what we do out here. People is watching us, and we're taking these paths, right? We're trying to do these shortcuts, and we getting people tangled up in our mess. Or maybe, okay, let's not say people. Let's just our children are watching us. And we wonder about, how things continue on from generation to generation. Okay, now, what you say? Yes. And these are one of those ways, right? Because we're showing our children that there are shortcuts in life, and there's not. There's no shortcuts in life. Your life journey is already predestined for you. It's already predestined for us. And we be trying to take these shortcuts. And the thing about it is that the time that you thought that you were saving, you really were not saving any time. You actually made more time. You increased more time to get to where you were supposed to go. If you just would have stayed on the path that you were destined to do. Why are we trying to get to places that without being injured, so to speak, without going through anything? And then if we did that, right, would we really appreciate what it took for us to get there? What did we learn, right, from getting there? How did we grow from getting there? See, that's why I be on these. This why I be on these trips, right? These, like some, how pastors, or apostles or prophets or whatever, and just ministers, like how they go away, like, and they were like, oh yeah, I'm going on, my Moses, expedition, so to speak. I'm going on my sabbatical, right? I feel like this be my sabbatical, right? Because I be sure. I just be taking it in, and I just be like, I know, right? This particular time, this is the time that, right? So much insight, revelation is going to come because nature speaks. It just speaks as you're just going through this time period. I know it's set aside for me. It's just for me. So, but anyway, I think it's every day we can learn these type of things every day as we go through life. Right. So even just going up the mountain, right, that life is an uphill, it's not, it was interesting because most hikes is like, okay, you start off, right, and you're kind of like at this level and it's like a gradual incline, right? Yeah, so these weren't, which was interesting. They weren't. I didn't expect that. Right. And so that's the other thing. There are certain things that you just don't expect to happen in life. But they come. They come. And what do? Do you stop? Because to me, it's almost like, think about it. If you're riding a bike, right, and you're riding a bike up a hill and you just stop in the middle of that hill, does that help you or harm you more? Right, it really harms you more, right? Because now you got to get this momentum going again. So I'm thinking, like, as I'm hiking, like, why would I like literally stop and turn around, other than getting to my next point? And I'm telling you, when I got to the point, it was just like, it was so refreshing. It was as though, right, like I was picked up and placed, in this heavenly, space of like, look at this creation. This is what I have done. This is what I have made. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it wonderful that I have done all of this? And it's like little old me in this big world. Right? It was like a canvas was being painted before my very eyes. The air was so crisp and clean. And did I mention that I had a sinus cold? So I kept forging through, right? Tissue and all. Okay, I got clowned for carrying around a tissue box. But hey, that didn't stop me, right? That did not stop me, right? So, but I'm telling you, and I kept telling my friend, I was like, yeah, look, you cannot get this at the beach. Yep, y'all people be at the beach. I know you be getting your time and your rest and relaxation, right? Because every place is different for everybody, but you can't get this at the beach, right? So, and so it was just like an inside joke between us, but it was just wonderful, just looking at nature and how, time and the earth, right, evolves. And so you think about mankind, you think about your own life and how we are meant to evolve, right? We're not meant to stay in the same place. And so even in places that we've been in for years, are we growing there? Are you growing there? Tell the truth. Are you growing? Because if you're not, it's time to change scenery. Time to change scenery. So there's so much more. I think I elaborated in spaces, but it's so much more that I could share about my trip. But hey, we're out of time. And I don't want to hold you any longer because I can keep going, right? So maybe next time we can talk about it a little bit more. But just know that, hey, as we're leading our own lives, things get messy. We don't have to plan all the time. We can just let life take us where it wants to go, and we won't go wrong as long as we make sure that we adhere to those detour signs, we adhere to closed, and not try to continue down those paths. All right, I love you. There's nothing that you can do about it. Do know that leading is teachable. And until next time, peace, stay blessed.